for Peru. I think they're gonna go down in history as a team that really pulled through in the matches, maybe underperforming a little in qualifiers. Arnold as well. That score, I mean, the P score, I mean, through groups, playing every map for his team. Definitely something to be proud of for every player on that roster. Unfortunate to be sent home, but against a Finnish team that looks this strong and this synergistic, it was a hard task. It was a hard ask, and not quite up to it. But well done. Congratulations for the performances put up.
And on that note, we have another match immediately to head into. And it's going to be the first appearance of the United States in this year's tournament. Number 2 seed. They'll be facing off against number 15th seeded France in a match that I believe is just getting started. I don't know that we'll be missing anything here, in fact. So, we get to see the match in its entirety, it looks like. The United States, of course, did not have to play groups. Qualified in the top 8 meant they went straight into the bracket. France went through as the number 2 seed out of Group C in the upper half of the group stage. Had a 2-1 record. United States is always the United States. I feel like there's not a lot that is left to be said about them anymore, but they do have some new members again this year. They bring in Cal, they bring in Ethan Trix, and they've got a title to fight for, and it starts out with this match against France.
Yeah, it's one of our Legends teams making their first appearance in the bracket stage of the World Cup. They have had a 2-week rest, a 2-week break, looking refreshed and ready to go. I mean, I know Ethan is at least looking refreshed and ready, but he's always playing well. He's always enjoying himself, I think. The rest, it's going to be their first run out this year. They get to show their stuff. We get to see what they can do with this reset roster, almost. The first pick, Hidden 2. From US, I think? Yes, from US. It's looking good for them. This is Ethan's home ground. This is his home turf. Hi guys, he says. Look at that. The Yapcost already starting strong.
Ethan is going to be the Yapcost king of this year's OWC. I think that is like a foregone conclusion already. That man loves to just chat.
We got a fairly mechanical Hidden 2 here for you. It has... I was looking into this, actually, as I, writing down notes on the map pool, and this has the longest streams of any map, in between 190 and 230 BPM in the pool. This is the only real mid-range tapping representation that exists in this map pool, which is really funny to say when it's in a Hidden 2. Yeah, not that it makes much of a difference either, because, I mean, Nomad 1 is in a similar vein. It's almost a Nomad 1 lower star rating and lower approach rate, right? People would argue otherwise, but those people can't read, I'm afraid. Skill issue.
Well, that's been kind of a discussion point regarding this Hidden 2, right? Is that it leans pretty heavily into kind of basic mechanics rather than being, quote-unquote, a real reading map. Other than that one section of perfect stacks, this map is a lot of aim with a couple of streams. It's very... you could argue that it's, in ways, not any harder than the preceding reading maps in the group stage, which I think people expected it to probably be much more difficult, and instead it just kind of offers this this mechanics map. But United States first picking their first map in head-to-head play of this year's World Cup. They are first picking a map that both A, is something they're very good at, but B, it's going to bring in both of their new members. You've got Ethan in and you've got Cal in, which I think is pretty cool.
On the other side, France, they've put up this roster a few times on low approach rate hidden. I know how scary these guys are on low star rating pools. Musty, Flaste, Musty, a bit overeager to be playing Paling, I fear. Kalangi and Fie. An absolutely demon roster on a hidden 2. Especially one so mechanics focused as this one. It's going to be a tough fight for the US, I think, on this skill set. But it is the first map. First map nerfs could play a part. We will see where this leaves our teams, where this all shakes out. Interesting to see Rectagon in on this. Not one of the players I was expecting, Aaron.
I was actually just talking about this with somebody. Rectagon, historically, obviously, as Cal is going to be the first to break the map, Rectagon historically known as, a hard rock and tapping player primarily, but has spent quite some time developing his reading. And there's the perfect stacks. They get Taquito, Musty, and Fie, so it's 2 FCs against 2. And Rectagon in that time has become actually pretty good at reading. He's been in for some reading maps over the last year or so, and generally speaking, while he's not up necessarily always to the level of the reading specialist, you can see from his performance so far in this map alone that he's more than capable of holding his own.
It's dead even right now. Perfect Stacks being the only one to claim. Musty falling at the end of the chorus 2, drops again. Little bit upset with the performance being put up right now. And again, first map nerves, I mentioned it earlier, but they might be coming into play.
Still got a double FC on both sides. You do have solid supporting combo as well for really both teams. You have Fie building up nicely. You have Taquito and Cal building up quite nicely for the United States. But that lead overall is just going to be continuing to go. And there goes Flaste, there goes Fie. Those streams come in and they catch some people out. Taquito falls as well, but both FCs hold for the United States. And look at the accuracy on Ethan. Look at the accuracy on Rectagon. Look at even the accuracy on Cal. Really, really strong stuff on those members of the United States. And I mean, at the end of the day, do you expect anything less out of the USA? The answer is probably no, because this is just a team that isn't going to pick something without feeling 110% confident in it, and you're seeing why as the double FC continues to be maintained. Kalangi doing what he can with the FC for France, but the accuracy far behind, the backing combo far behind, and 500k plus to the good for United States' side on their own first pick is looking pretty solid into the ending.
Yeah, USA coming into this match, into this bracket, I think, with something to prove. These guys aren't the same lax USA you would see in early rounds, maybe. Double FC into the outro. The squares stand between them and an FC, and it's Ethan and Rectagon to close it out. 3.3 million on Hidden 2 against France's 2.5. It was a heads-up first pick against a scary demon roster that unfortunately could not fight hard enough against the most confident pick the US has, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, not a bad score from France. I think Fie probably a little less than satisfied with the score. Obviously, we saw Musty a little frustrated, but on the whole, not a terrible performance by any means. USA just a double FC and a near 800k to back it up. Not a lot of teams in, especially, you know, on the lower half of the seeding in the winners bracket, so like the 9 through 16 teams, not a lot of teams are going to be able to compete with that, unfortunately. But as you said, United States' first pick, something that we know they were going to be confident and comfortable on. Now France gets to do the same thing. They get to pick whatever they have the most confidence in for themselves, and that is going to be one of really several different maps, and they went a lot of different ways in the group stage. I'm curious as to your thoughts on where they might go here against the United States, because it's always a team you pick what you feel comfortable against, not something that you pick, not a team where you pick things that you think they're going to be bad at, because there's nothing the USA is bad at.
Yeah, there's I think a real belief that the US is the most well-rounded team in the tournament. It's difficult. It is really difficult. What does this French roster excel on in this map pool? Honestly, this star rating is pretty much perfect for them. Most of their tournaments sit around about this star rating. They have been competing on this for a long while. They'll be very well versed in tech at this range, and it does shake out that way. It goes into tech, no mod 4, swing 208 BPM. I could see this going well, actually. These guys have a lot of experience with the more niche skill sets that get pulled in their tournaments quite often. I could see US putting up a great roster on this, but as you said, it is all about picking what you are comfortable on. And if this is what France are the most comfortable on, they have 4 picks, remember? Assuming it goes to tiebreaker, you have to fill all 4 of those picks. And so, yeah, no mod 4. Sliders, swing tech, 1/3. Honestly, maybe trying to catch people out. This is one of the more missable maps in the port. You drop your focus at any point, and you find yourself with 2 or 3 misses to your name. More if it's in the middle of one of those 1/3 streams. And that hidden 2, a good focus test. We're seeing US are locked in. They're here to play. Can France pick it up? Perform their own lock-in spell?
It's an interesting spot to be in. France didn't play the Nomad 4 in the group stage. Didn't play the...
This, I think,
How
quite
did they play
different.
the hidden... They didn't play the hidden 1 in group stage? I'm just trying to find something comparable. They played the free mod 1 once, and they put up the #1 score of the week on it, which is, a circle tech type of pick. But in general, not a whole lot to base anything on here, I feel.
No.
So you're just going into this pretty blind.
The difficult part about that free mod 1 as well was it was 2 difficulty spike sections. This map is difficult all the way through. There is no spikes, there is no rest. It's just all about being consistent on swing tag, which includes the doubles, the swing doubles, a note and then a gap to a slider, but also the 1/3 streams that wind and change direction and snap every so often.
We'll get into it, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Very consistently challenging map. Early break there from Fie on that slider. Not going to matter too much. We'll give the US a tiny, tiny, tiny early lead.
Oh, Kalangi too. It's tough out of the gate for France.
And USA, I've said a million times in the past, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. You just cannot afford to give this team a lead to play with, because it feels like no matter what you do, the USA is going to have somebody with a combo somewhere, somehow. And so any deficit against that team, it doesn't feel insurmountable, but it certainly feels challenging to come back from. And so France is going to have to play this map the hard way, starting off with just that 75k lead in the United States' favor as we get into this first KI where those gaps and the sliders that you were talking about do start to come in. Let's see what the comfort level looks like, because it seems to be pretty high for just about everyone. No meaningful breaks other than those 2 in the intro for France.
Oh, but there is a mistake. There's a drop. Cal goes down. 98% ain't gonna matter if you don't got combo, man. And it's advantage to France as long as they can hold, as long as they can keep themselves steady. They will be reeling that lead in as US crosses a million, but are being barreled down on by those 4 big combos. Taquito 2 falls, and it is a big deficit now that the United States have to hope that they get a leg back in. France take the lead. Halfway through this no mod 4.
And you gotta say, France are the ones looking pretty darn comfortable now. It is a break from Hifkill, and he misses on that little spaced burst as well. But the 3 big combos still alive. Musty with the FC, Kalangi and Fie on the recovery.
Oh, but watch the slowdown, Aaron. Watch the slowdown at the end. People can miss on this very easily.
Oh
And
my!
they do! It's a huge break! It's an FC down. Decaton is gone. It's traded out by Hifkill, but that was the tiniest combo that France had. And now they run as fast as they can. 3 FCs pretty much to just the 1 on window life. That stalwart warrior, the defender, that cannot quite do enough to keep this from being a converted pick into the ending. France have to be feeling great. They've all but secured it. 600k on 3 of their players. Musty still with the FC, making up for that Hidden 2 performance that he had. Saying, that ain't me, man. That ain't me. And Window Life now down. 1000 combo is gone, and no FCs left. There will be a combo. There is a combo somewhere, but none of them are full combos, and that's what you would have needed to fend off this France performance. 3 million points for them as they put a point. A little light shines.
Is such a good first pick for France, man. The FC out of Musty, the S rank 835k out of Fie, the near 800k from Kalangi, and can't forget Hifkill with the 538k as well, backing them all up. And man, just a solid team score. 3 million across the board. A really good showing. And both teams starting this match off as they would have liked. USA with a very strong performance on the Hidden 2. France answering right back with that score on the Nomad 4. And there's some interesting places to go in the rest of the pool with those things in mind. You've got that Fremod 3 that has those flowy tech elements to it. You've got the DT3, which is a very interesting map in this matchup with what we've seen on that pick. A lot of options for both rosters. And the USA is going to offer up Hard Rock 1. Wow. Of all the maps to go into, it's going to be the aim, but the awkward aim in the Hard Rock.
What I think defines this map, honestly, is the timing changes. Because it is awkward aim, right? It is very difficult in terms of cursor control to put your cursor where it needs to go. Especially when it's CS 5.2, but some of these timing changes that happen in the performance of the band, they just catch you off guard. They come out of pretty much nowhere. We're going to be seeing low accuracies if these guys want to keep their combo, but if they get caught out, again, it's a focus map. It's another focus map, Aaron.
We're doing a lot of that today. Players got to be... You can't go into... brain off autopilot mode on a lot of these maps. You have to be watching every note that appears on your screen. And to me, in a lot of ways, this map feels like a kind of, quote, traditional, end quote, Hidden 1. It has those wide angle jumps, it has some linear jumps, it has some kick slider jumps, and you have to be ready for all of them. And as you mentioned, I think it's an interesting factor about using a song by, a conventional acoustic band rather than, like a lot of the, let's say, EDM tracks you see in spots and things like that, where there's just those little subtle variances that aren't always perfect. As you said, the timing changes and the little changes here and there that occur. USA looked really set and locked in on the Hidden 2. France looked equally set and locked in on the Nomad 4. I just want to see both of those facets of their gameplay continuing into this Hard Rock 1 because those were some really good performances we saw.
Big performances from both teams. If it is a map haul to find an upset on, I think it is this one for France. Well within their wheelhouse. So, again, so practiced on stuff at this level. It's Musty, Kalangi, Flaste, and Hifkill staring them down pairs in for his first map in bracket. Rectagon back to Katen and Window Life. It's gonna start immediately. We find the first rhythm change immediately.
Nobody
gets
trouble
from here.
Yeah. Be curious to watch the ACK and to watch the Comfort as it's an early break from Rectagon there in this first verse. Not a player you expect to see missing on Hard Rock Aim, quite frankly, so we'll see how he fares the rest of the way, if that was just a tiny momentary slip-up, which is my guess, or if it's indicative of maybe a slight lack of comfort. 4 FCs for France, they'll have the lead shifting back and forth. Just accuracy, really, I think, is what's helping out the United States here.
The more you focus on acting this, the less you're focusing on actually aiming things, especially if you're thinking about matching the metronome, which gets played with and toyed with so much by this band. Halangi falls. The combo gone for France now to mirror Rectigon's earlier miss, but ceding the advantage.
Of course, this is a quite lengthy map, about 3 minutes and 40 seconds, so plenty of time that you're going to have to be staying settled and staying consistent. It's going to be traded breaks. It's Pez and Kalangi, but that is really, it's technically in favor of France, but only by about 80 to 100 combo. It will go their way, but not by much. And the accuracy is still in favor of the United States. The 97 on Kalangi, the 95 on Flastek. Not where they exactly want them to be. Through the big square, it's going to be Kalangi and Flastek both breaking on that large aim pattern, and now the USA will take the advantage back over in the combo department.
And look at the accuracies. Decaton's doing really well on that 99.5. Has obviously put the work in to learn the performance. Kalangi now really struggling, matched down. Goes Hiv kill. 1 FC left, and guess who it's on?
Musty has played more OWCs than maybe OWC players, but definitely plenty of Osu players have been alive. No surprise to see him completely unaffected by nerves, unaffected by match situation. Unfortunately, just not getting the backing help that he would have needed on this particular pick. And Window Life on the FC for the United States, Rectigon and Pez on those backing scores. And the United States, maybe not quite at the level of the Hidden 2, but definitely near it, as there goes Musty finally, the last FC to fall for France, and the USA, 600k in their favor. They're going to take this pick by a pretty significant margin. Opening picks for both these teams now, 3 maps in, have all looked very, very good.
It's just an early stumble for Rectigon. Pretty much closing out the rest of the map here. But honestly, not that far behind for the French team.
Window Life into the ending. Just the last pattern. Brings it on home. Full combo for Window Life.
That's really, like, the team accuracy from
And just-
US is crazy.
That's going to be T-Mac.
Wow!
basically
2 misses across
99%.
4 players.
That's ridiculous. 2 S ranks, 2 1 misses, 2 99% accuracies, 3 million plus team score, and a win by over 1 million. You know, the big question mark on the United States last year was, or one of them, I suppose, was aim, right? They got pretty well beaten by South Korea on aim maps. And so opening a matchup here this year with a couple of aim picks and looking like that on them, they're saying, hey guys, we do have aim players in this country, we promise.
Okay, and it was coming, wasn't it? It was always gonna be appearing. Harling is picked. France. We saw. It's really funny. We saw Musty with a small client glitch appearing to be loading into that for their No Mod 4 pick. Foreshadowing, I feel. Foreshadowing for this pick. It's so much more difficult than the rest of the map pool. And putting that into the US? I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. This is such a we'll see map.
I kind of expected free mod 3 here. I'm gonna be real. Or maybe even no mod 3. But, you know, Pauling. If France wants to pick into stuff with a certain level of gimmick to it, I guess. They go, you know, the swing tech no mod 4 into, well, Pauling, which you just can't define. This is gonna go down as, like, the most popular, in a weird way, map, like, of this entire tournament at this rate. Like, everybody just loves it universally. The players seem to love it in their own way. Not loving it to play it necessarily, but, like, in terms of picking it in maps, it's been very popular. The viewers love having it. I think the commentators have loved having it just because it offers something so bizarre.
Have we? Actually, I haven't commentated this one yet. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
It's just strange in a way that maps in World Cups often are not. And I think there's something that you can appreciate about that. That it's just, this is really different.
Yeah,
It's
honestly,
precision,
actually, as a
it's
viewer,
tech, it's BPM changes or it's rhythm changes, you know?
I feel like there is something inherently satisfying about watching some of your favorite players absolutely drop, like, I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean?
It's the
Like,
best,
B
the
ranks
best score
are
in
the
this
best
lobby.
scores on this.
Yeah, exactly. The best score in this lobby is going to be like 600k 94 accuracy.
Someone
and that's
is
just what
going to
happens
FC
every
this.
time.
Someone's going to FC this in this match, I think.
All right. Yeah, if any match was
If there was
have
if there was a match where it would happen in this one. And you know what? I don't know which team that person is going to be on.
I have no idea. That's part of the beauty of it. It's just utterly unpredictable. You have absolutely no idea who's going to do well. And so you just get into it and say, let's have fun. Let's have a good time. Let's play Poly. Early break from Satsuki on the side of France. Everyone else holding so far across the lobby. Pez misses the last couple
Pez.
notes of that little pattern into the spinner. And, well, combo lead France, but this is about as much of an accuracy as anything else, I feel, just because, well, that's why. There's breaks everywhere, and Bancho misses everywhere as well.
Good grief. Yeah, Banjo misses everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got Ethan, you've got Rectagon, you've got Kalangi, you've got Musty. I think that's what you've got right now.
No, Ethan is gone? Question mark? Yeah, I think so. That was a little cursor wiggle. It's 2v1.
It's 2-1
Million
but
points
with
already
Kalangi
on
at
this from both
92
teams is
act.
really good. Gotta be mentioned. Now look out for slider bugs, okay? This is one of the defining features of this map, the slider bugs, where you tap a note underneath a slider that hasn't yet finished. Oh my goodness, there's 3 FCs through that section. Wait.
Double FC on France. There's Musty and Kalangi. No! Oh, it's tragic for Musty, but I think has he done enough? I don't know. Rectagon still got the FC, and Pez has the backing combo, and it's just gonna. Oh wait, what?
What's going on?
I think France is winning the point. Is what's going on.
No
Yeah, France is
way!
winning the point, and that score. Okay, I'm gonna double check in the MP here because I don't think that score on screen is accurate.
What's
we're gonna
going
take a look
on?
here. So France won it by about 40,000 points. Kalangi's score was actually 725k. So good job, Kalangi.
Wow.
0 miss, 91 AC. I think that would be an S rank. I don't think that would be an FC. I'm not really sure. With superior accuracy. Either way, France won the pick. So the polling method works once more.
Jeez, that was so close. That was so close to being an FC. I was almost right. No way are we doing that in match. Team performance is crazy. 5 A ranks on this.
That was.
I mean, honestly, who was struggling more, the players or us trying to commentate that?
I'm gonna go with us. Because it's impossible to commentate that map. You just don't know what's happening at any given moment in time. And between Kalangi and Rectagon, like, you've got at least 2 players in the match, which is the same number of players in the match as there are commentators in this booth, that were able to, have a better time than we did on it. So there we go. It's 2-2. France is doing what they needed to so far. They've won both their picks to start this match off. And USA sticking in the Hard Rock Bowl. Gonna go into this Hard Rock 2 that we've also a match that we feels like haven't seen a whole lot of. The flow stream Hard Rock.
I think it's crazy that the Hard Rock Tool has been very much avoided so far this round. But then when you look at the maps that are in it, who can really blame the teams, right? There's an incredibly difficult, awkward aim Hard Rock 1. And then yet another incredibly difficult, awkward stream Hard Rock 2. It's all down to the slider streams at the end of these. In fact, I don't really have much knowledge on this map because as soon as I played it, alarm bells were ringing, for the match that I was going to be playing. So kind of left this one by the wayside a little bit.
I did the normal strategy of I'm a commentator who's not good enough to play these pools, so I'm going to look at the maps as best I can. I get skill capped, before round of 32 level difficulty pools, sadly, these days. But it is, that Hard Rock flow with those slider streams. I've seen some people saying they're fine. I've seen other people saying that they have a lot of difficulty with them. But it does feel like that might be, kind of a binary sort of section that can maybe determine outcomes, right? If one team has players that don't struggle with those, the other team has players that do, that could just be it right there. But otherwise, you're playing flow streams, man.
I would say this isn't a skill set any of these guys struggle on. There is no clear advantage on this map, to me anyway. Well, obviously the clear advantage goes to the number 2 seed in the tournament. But in theory, on paper, oh, we'll see. It's gonna be a toss-up, I think.
And of course, the interesting thing about throwing the stream map into the Hard Rock, you add that little bit of extra spacing, those somewhat smaller circle size as well, some elements that aren't in tournament pools always present in maps like this that are more often in Nomad, or maybe a free map pool with 1 Hard Rock required. So we'll see what the comfort level of everybody looks like with the flow requirement of this, and it's early breaks from Musty and Satsuki. Right off the bat, this throws you right into it, right? These flowy patterns, those circle and excel decel streams can catch you out from very early on. And the United States is going to be the beneficiary of a couple French players having that exact issue.
It is only 175 BPM, so it's all on the flow aim. You could even suggest that teams might be too fast for this map. Like, Hard Rock on slower BPM sometimes can be a test of finger control just as much as it is a test of anything else. Flow or Satsuki.
Satsuki, no!
It's a reverse slider that catches that combo. Drags him down to the depths, but Window Life! If that's not Bancho, that is a pretty sizable miss. Kalangi, though, trades it.
Down to just the 1 FC on Hifkill on the French side. Meanwhile, Decaton, Pez, and Rectigon, no longer Pez, Decaton and Rectigon, still holding the double FC for the USA. So you do have a recovery combo on Musty that will be meaningful if either of those FCs drops from the United States. But it's players who are so comfortable on this skill set with Decaton and Rectigon, just the guys you would want holding combo on a map like this. Super comfortable and confident on Hard Rock and the stream flow elements as well. Lead 150k. And there goes Satsuki, but that's not the meaningful combo on France. You gotta be watching really Musty and Hifkill as the super meaningful ones. But if he continues to struggle, that's not gonna help. 96 AC and the lead goes over 200k.
Oh. But there comes the slider streams. Hardest part of the map we're hitting now. A little bit linear in difficulty, gets harder as it goes on. Window Life not happy with the performance being put up so far. Still 2 FCs though, and now 2-0. France find themselves on the back foot, bleeding that red bar over to the left.
The matching break from Musty and Hifkill there just past the halfway mark. Really brutal for France's opportunity to bring this map back. In the case of United States missing, now the lead over 500k, a third still to go. Thank you, team, says Window Life. As you said, not the most pleased with his break, but I'm sure they will say, "You're welcome, buddy, no problem. Thank you for your contribution as well." As we still have Decaton and Rectigon, which I thought was a double FC, but I guess isn't. Rectigon must have broken on literally the first 10 combo. It might as well be an FC, though. And United States, it's going to be just a third really strong pick for them in a row.
They know their strengths, and in a best of 9, you only get 4 picks. You're only allowed to select 4 maps, and from a map pool this large, that can feel a little bit constricting. Knowing your best picks, though, can counteract that. US looking crazy on this skill set. The slower streams, the flow aim on Hard Rock. Just brushing a little dust off their shoulders, saying, yeah, we got this. Nothing special.
Nothing special at all about a 3 million plus team score with what is essentially a
Decatur.
double FC. Decatur 99.71
Decatur.
accuracy FC for himself.
My hands are on my forehead.
That score is remarkable.
No slider ends
600s.
either.
Yeah.
What?
600s in perfect combo. I don't know. The United States is good at the maps they're good at. Let's just put it that way. They're very, very good at the maps that they're good at. Rectagon not too far behind in terms of the combo, but man, the accuracy difference between the two best players in the lobby on that USA side. That's a really sick score from Decatur. And really just a solid team-wide score. United States now 3-2. And that was one that it really didn't feel like France were in after a certain point in the map, right? They felt just too far behind, and there was no getting back on that horse. But now they have their own pick to try to tie it up 3-3 and send it to each team's final pick of the match. And they've looked good on their first two picks, so let's see if they can find a third one as the pool starts to dwindle down into maps that are going to feel a little less, I think, confidence-inspiring.
Know your enemy and yourself, and you need not fear the result of 100 battles. And if they do know these next two picks that they are going to be going into, it's looking like... Especially with how the script has been written so far, we could be heading towards eternity. Image is the selection. France opting for AR 8.5. CS5. What do we think about this one, Aaron? Especially looking at those Hard Rocks that US have picked back to back.
US looked very, very good on both Hard Rocks. USA looked very, very good on Hidden 2. France looked very good on Freemod in general in the group stage, but didn't necessarily have a direct comparison with those maps to this one. I'm going to say this about this pick. I'm going to throw all of the comparisons and analysis from previous matches and pools out the window and say that France came to this match prepared and ready on their picks. They have looked very strong on both maps they've selected so far. So at this point, I am simply going to sit back and have faith in their knowledge of their players and what they want to opt into on this pool.
Yeah, I think with the performances on the maps they've picked so far, this is going to be a close one, honestly. We're looking into Hard Rock for US. Ethan is in the lobby as well. Maybe the two modded players joining up first. Could we be seeing any overmods here? I mean, we saw some heavy overmodding on this map from a few teams. I know the New Zealand team had like 3 Hard Rocks on this, so there was a good amount of presence in that.
You've got Pez, Rectagon, and Decatur, all of whom are good at Hard Rock. Shrugging.
Instead of the like standard like 4 mods, the 1 hidden, the 1 Hard Rock per team, could go up to I don't know, maybe 6. Maybe
Yes, it is.
maybe 7.
Look at that. It's
Oh
triple
my
Hard
god!
Rock.
Wait, no, my god!
They
It's
actually
a
did
full overmod.
And it looks like we have Hard Rock on Hifkill, I'm going to say on France, and his mods did not load. But it's Pez, Decatur, and Rectagon all opting into the CS 6.5 Hard Rock mod with just Ethan on the Hidden. Meanwhile, France, normal mods. It's Hidden on Flasta, it's Hard Rock on Hifkill, with Fie and Kalangi on the no mod. So USA has a pretty sizable mod advantage, but whether or not that will lead itself to a score advantage remains to be seen, because I don't know about you. I've seen Overmods work, and I've seen Overmods go very poorly.
Yeah, if there's any team that Overmods are going to work for, it is going to be this one. US, on Hard Rock, I might add, have been stomping in this match so far. But fly too close to the sun and risk your wax wings.
Historically rare to think of United States as Icarus, but I suppose there's always the chance. Was the early break from Decaton? A couple of misses so far from Fie, and a very early miss from Flasta. USA has a small early lead. So far, though, a lot of good combos being built up.
Ooh,
right as I say that, it's Kalangi.
Pez down 2. So this Hard Rock not working out for him, but now another Hard Rock down. It's on the other side, though. The one Hard Rock on France. Hifkill is gone. Tough map. It never lets up this. It does code switch at the ending. Hold the sliders, but for now, wiggle the streams. 2FC still for US.
A lot of French eyes on Flasta. A lot of hopes pinned on him with the remaining big combo on that side. Just past halfway through at the break. 317k lead USA. Ethan and Rectigon. No, Ethan immediately falls in the aim pattern after the break. Don't cursor dance there, buddy. You need all the circles you can get. You can't afford to be dropping score. You don't want to give the opportunity back to your opponents. Rectigon, though, still holding the FC on the Hard Rock. Decaton has recovered from his early miss. Flasta with the miss there as well as Ethan. France has got some decent backing combo, but they just don't have the big combo. They don't have an FC. They don't have, an 800-900 combo to match Decaton. And that means United States, quarter of the map to go, are getting to the point where this feels comfortable for them to say, this might just be the break point.
And the squares catch out Kalangi as a big combo brought into the ending. Lead still trickling away. USA taking point on this. Recti can miss as much as he wants. But at this point, it's all but decided. The highest state of consistency, even with the 3 Hard Rocks, now completely wiped off the face of the board. It's 2 FCs, or it's 2 big combos on France, but they do not have time to do anything here. Into the final spinner. And it's finally a breakpoint gone. Nobody caught out by that devious slider. 4-2 now, Aaron. Finally, we see a breakpoint. And that's not something we usually say for a US match.
No, and the nature of the best of in the pick order is such that if the USA wins their own pick here, it's a 5-2 final score, which looks commonplace, which looks like a normal, like, hey, we just went out and won the match type of score on, if you're just looking at it on paper. But you've got to give credit so far to France, who are not out of this yet, for their performance in this match on those couple of points they won on their own picks, and they still have the opportunities. If they can get the break point back here, they'll have their own pick to try to send it to tiebreaker. As you said, in an early round, you usually anticipate USA, 5-0, 5-1 match scores, and France gave them plenty to think about in the early picks to ensure that that didn't happen, and are still going to continue to put their best foot forward to try and ensure that they don't lose it right here on this DT1.
DT1, high approach rate, older style mapping. Something I think US are very well versed on. They've got a lot of leaderboard players on their team. The speed is going to be nothing to them. The aim is going to be nothing to them. The reading is going to be nothing to them. This, reminiscent as well of the Hard Rock one. Faster with bigger circles, but still. Same skill set is there. It's from 2012, by the way. One of the older maps I think we've seen. 13 years ago this was uploaded and ranked.
What a great era of mapping that was. 2012, 2013.
Really was.
Just the style.
The golden age.
Yeah, there were so many just really, even just like quote unquote generic kinds of aim maps like this one had something to them that made them feel a little, just have a little bit of enjoyment in playing. It's hard to put into words exactly why, and maybe it's because I'm a little older and have been around the game for a while, but there was a certain amount of character to these maps that has always felt good and has been sustained as feeling good for, as you said, over a decade now.
Well, let's see if the French players can find their own character on this. They have a tall order asked of them. It's going to be an uphill battle against Window Life, Pez, Taquito, and Rectagon. A crazy imposing DT1 roster, at even on the worst of days. And they're looking really good on their own picks. Both of these teams coming prepped and ready.
Here we go. Relatively short map, just 2 minutes long, just 2 minutes separating the United States from the quarterfinals. And the loser with a spot down in the loser bracket, round 2.
Talk about every song in this pool being around about 3 minutes long.
I noticed that as well. Yes, there's only a couple of maps outside of that length range. Polling is pretty short, and I think I forget offhand, there's one map that's a little longer, but yeah, it's a lot of 3 to 3.5 minute long picks. As we go into this KI, it's going to be the first break from Flaste. United States takes the lead, but it's only the 1 FC gone against the 4 FCs, so not out of the woods, not over yet.
Flaste not who I would like to be seeing miss, and it's a smiley face
Oh no.
to mirror one we saw earlier from Goose, but in such a dire position instead of the winning one. 4 FCs to 3, they have got to hold and they've got to wait for a mistake. And when you're waiting for a mistake from the USA roster, it is incredibly unlikely that you're going to find one.
So far, you simply have not found one. I take it back. It's Taquito to fall. The United States, though, did manage to build up a 250k lead, and there goes Jordy Grieve. That will be a trade, but worse for France. The United States 3 FCs still alive. There's a big miss from Jordy again on that stream. And as we head towards the ending, it's a double FC for France. It's a double FC now for the United States as Window Life falls, but that 350k lead is going to look pretty insurmountable as Pez Rectagon hold the double FC into the ending. Japweight and Hifkill will match, but it was the other scores. It was the backing scores, the backing combos. The United States 4.2 million team score and a 5-2 final score of the match. Advance onward over France. And hey, who do they get to play? They get to play you.
No, do they? Me on my own? I could take them
personally. Yep, 1v8.
I could take
Man
them
versus the United States.
I reckon I could take these guys. I reckon.
You know, France
That's going to be a blast. That's going to be a great one. I honestly can't wait. Looking at these guys and looking at how they're playing this year, it is going to be a fist fight slugfest. I can't wait. I'm really excited to see that. And of course, France, they're not out. They take 2 points against the US, but do lose and do go down into losers. They will be playing next weekend on the next pool